Hello and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to show you how you can design using Tinkercad your own controller ready to be 3D printed. Now my one here, this is designed for a Microbit. So on the inside here we're going to be able to put the Microbit in the slot at the top there, slot it in, attach it to a breakout board, and then we're going to have some an XY joystick there, some push buttons here for extra buttons, and an on-off switch there as well. There we go. And over here we're going to have some space for a battery pack. Okay, good. There we go. So the controller is going to look a bit like that. We push buttons and your controller. Okay, so you can see what it's like. Let's get started. Here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll create the main bit here. So we'll just drag the center bit in there. Move that across, and I'll probably go about there, 80 by 40. You could do whatever size you want to do. Mine's going to have the Microbit in, so we're going to have to make it that size. Now, the Microbit does have a battery pack to power it, so I'm going to want to make sure that I've got plenty of space in my battery pack. So there you go. So I'm going to type in here, I've typed in battery pack, and I've found this is the normal battery pack you use for the Microbit to charge it. So we need to make sure that I'm going to have in the right hand part of the controller, I'm going to make sure that that's the same size. So there we go, or at least big enough. So we'll move that out of the way for now. And let's do these side bits. So connect that to the end. Let's pull that along. There we go, pull it a bit wider. Let's see if that fits in. Yeah, that's loads of room. In fact, actually what I'll do is I'll just twist that back around to where it was before. And we can always see if it fits in like that. Let's have a look. That one from the side. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. Plenty of space. Maybe do a little bit bigger, in fact. So what we'll do is bring that up a bit. And that's fine. So that now is going to have plenty of room for that power bank if I make it a little bit longer. So it's got a bit of like 5. You want really sort of 5mm clearance maybe. There we go. Yeah, that will do. Cool. So now we know that the battery pack will be able to go in there. So we'll leave that out of the way for the moment. And then what we'll do is we'll just turn these in. Oops, no, we won't turn it in just yet. Actually, undo that. We'll copy it first. Move that over there for the left-hand side. And then I'll use the turny bit here, the turn tool, to turn it. Okay, and we'll just move that up there. How much does I do that to? There we go. And we'll do this one to the same amount, although I've actually just forgotten what amount it is. So, yeah, that didn't quite work. There we go. Connect that about there. Connect that about there. Yeah, there we go. You can be more precise if you want to. You can look from the top to make sure it's exactly in the right place. But I'll stick with that. Okay, so there we go. So we've got the basic layout of my controller. You can change yours however you want. And what we'll do is, just to make it a little bit more ergonomic, we will change those bits there and do a radius. There we go, radius, make it smooth, 3.5. Again, let's do 3.5 actually, there we go. To make sure you get it exact, you can click on here and you can do 3.5, 3.5, there we go. And just move that over there, there we are, good. So now we've got the basic layout of my controller there. I'll move that in slightly and let's give that a radius of 3 or something like that. No, that's too much. 2. There we go, good. So there's the basic controller. Probably wants to be a bit longer on here to fit everything in. So I'll just pull that down and get that about there. Good. Okay, good. So yeah, we are. There's the controller. Now it might need to be a bit thicker later on because we're going to have the Microbit in there and all the other bits, but we'll leave that for now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to think, okay, well, where are we going to put all the bits on our controller? So we want one of these joysticks. I can't spell joystick. Joystick, there we go. And we've got one of these XY push button joysticks. And by putting that on now, this one here, you'll be able to see what it's going to look like on your final thing. So I reckon that's all about. It's about right there. Let's move it across. There we go. There we go. And there we are. Good. And actually now, if we go here and we pull it out and pull it back in, we can see that, yeah, there's the bottom of it there. So actually that's probably enough. Now, actually, we might have a problem though is that if you look here, in fact, actually, probably have to move it back up a bit there, because if we move it up, obviously with this joystick here, we're going to have to make sure, as we're designing it now, that there's space for these prongs here to be able to be used. So I think that's probably all right. That's probably okay. Again, you can print one version. Once you've designed it and printed it, you can do a prototype, and then if it's no good, you can always do it again. There we go. If you're not sure as well, you could always just make this a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. It doesn't really matter. There we go. So there's my controller with the joystick, and then probably do some push buttons. Push button. Yeah, there we are. Push button. There we go. Good. Push button. 1, 2. However you want to do your push buttons. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Cool. There we go. So there's our controller. There's the basic layout. I might do a switch on there as well a bit later on, but I'm going to leave that off for today. Okay, so what we'll do, now we've got the basic design, we'll leave these things in place. Now we're going to have to do, if we go back to it, let's just get rid of that one, we don't need that anymore. Now we're going to have to start thinking about doing the inside. Now in order to do the inside, what we're going to have to do is chop our controller in half, really, although I've done a big bit and a small bit there. Chop the controller and then start adding bits in here so that they're going to go for the right place. So the first thing we want to do is we want to chop the controller in two. Let's get rid of these buttons, we'll put them back later on for testing and stuff. But we want to chop this in two. In order to chop it in two, what we'll do is we'll just copy it and paste it. There we go. So we've got two identical copies on top of each other or somewhere near. Go back to the basic shapes and then just drag a cube in. There we go. One of the empty cubes. Now what we do is we get the empty cube, put it over the controller. There we go. And yeah, I'm going to do it half and half. Let's do it half and half. In fact, no, I won't do it half and half. I'll do it top and bottom. There you go. No, let's do it half and half. Right, there we go. Half and half. So we're going to use this now to chop off the bottom of that one. But before we do that, we'll just copy and paste that. And we will bring it up there. There we go. Spin around, bring it across, spin around. What's that doing that? Go over there. There we go. Bring it up. Hey, and probably bring that down a bit. Ooh, nope, that's not right. Where's my thing for the bottom? There we go. There we go. Good. Probably a little bit too much. We'll do that. Make it nice and big. Okay, good. So there we go. So now what we can do is the bottom one, we've lost half of it. So we'll go and group, click on group to get rid of the bottom half. The top one will do the same. Go on. Oh, what have I done there? Missed the bit off there. Wasn't paying attention. Let's move that along. There we go. Yeah, let's try again. Go on here. Group on the bottom one. Go to the top one. Group on the top one. There we go. And now what you've got is you've got two halves of your shell. The top half here is fine. That's the right way up. The bottom half, we're going to have to flip it to edit out the insides. So in order to do that, we'll look at it side on, click on the right. We click on take perspective off and just move over. And what we'll do here is we're going to flip it upside down. Now, in order to flip it upside down, to get it exact, before you start doing the rotate tool, just hold the shift key down and flip it upside down because that will force it to go in 90 degrees. There you go. There we are. Put that back down on the bottom. And then you can come down as well. And now, there we go. So now what we've got is we've got our controller. Now I'm going to do, this is the bottom of the controller, this is going to be the top. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to make sure that we can put in the battery pack. Let's make sure our battery pack goes in there. So come here, let's just spin that round a bit. There we go. Bring that up. So there we go. We don't need it that up, do we? Let's go down. There you go. Now you can see it's popping out at the bottom there, so we don't need that quite that far down. So maybe go to about there. There we go. And you can see, yep, that's okay. That's about right. So we're gonna, what we'll do now, just move that across there as well. That's okay. What we'll do is we'll change that to a hole. So that's going to be a hole in there. And we'll duplicate it so that we can do the same over here. Spin you round. Where's that gone? There it is. Okay, hole. Try to make sure it's about the same as both, so they overlap. That looks about perfect, doesn't it? Yeah, that's about right. Good. So now we've got a hole in both. We can just select that one and group it. Select that one and group it. There we go. Hey, good. And now we know that we've got a hole that's big enough. I don't know why that's just done that. Good. Okay, so that's the whole of that one done there. Now what we want to do is we want to hollow out the rest of our controller. The more you hollow out, the more lightweight your controller is going to be, and the cheaper it's going to be for printing. So, you know, don't be too shy, but just be aware that if you do it too much, you can end up with a hole in your print. There we go. Put that one in there. Let's bring that along. Whee. What's that done there? Has that done some weird? Oh, it always does that. Hang on. Let's unspin that first to make sure it's the right size. Put it up there. Yeah, that's more like it. Spin that there. Whee. Good. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. So fit in. Yeah, there we go. That will do. Again, you can work on these as much as you like. Just make sure, I'm going a bit quickly because it's a video, but you know, make sure you get nice and neatly in there. Again, click on group so that it gets rid of those shapes. Let's do that. There we go. Let's do the whole middle of this actually. Just pull that right down there. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Pull that down. That will do. Again, just keep going, keep nibbling away, and keep hollowing out. Making sure all the time, just checking to make sure that you've not gone too far in any areas that are going to cause a problem. There we are. We'll get rid of that bit as well. Good. You go down. Yeah, there we go. Good. I'd probably get rid of these bits and these bits as well because those still are looking quite thick. So you don't want it too thick. There we go. Good, good, good. Again, you take as much time as you need. That will do. Good. There we go. Lots of chopping. Lots of chopping. Ooh. There we go. Okay, and bring that down. Down, down, down. There, maybe. About there. Chop, chop, chop. Let's just see. Chop, chop, chop. That's looking good. Yeah, might have taken a little bit too much out of there, but I'll leave it. I'm not too worried. That one I've taken nowhere near enough. But that's okay. For now it will do. For now it will do. You can tidy it up if you really want to. Good. So now we've got the basic shell of our controller. What we're going to do now is we're going to fit in space for this joystick here, the XY joystick. Now, with the XY joystick, you could, if you wanted, just do your own measurements for the XY joysticks and then, you know, create your own standoffs, which is fine. You can do that, just use the circle tool and do 2mm holes for where you want the screws to screw in. But if you don't want to do that, because, you know, there's no point reinventing the wheel, then what you can do is I'll put a link in the video for these STL files that I've already created. So what we'll do, you're going to use the XY joystick mount, just import it in the millimeters. And what that will do is it will already import one that I've already measured to fit those XY joysticks. Good. And now what we've got is we've got this lovely, lovely mount here. There we go. Now the mount there, it's a little bit, I made it a little bit big by accident. You don't need all these bits on the edge. So what I'll do is I'm just going to chop these bits off. One I'll just move it over there a minute. Let's just chop these extra bits off so that you're not worrying about space. We only need the space. Oh gosh, undo, copy. There we go. 1, 2. We'll do number 3 there. There you go, nice and small. There we are. 1, 2, 3. Oops, 4. There we go. That'll make it nice and small. There you go. Again, I probably should have got rid of the bits before, but I might do that anyway. You might not have that problem when we get to it. There you go. Good. So we're going to put it in. Let's say this is the bottom of the controller. Yeah, let's do this as the bottom. So we're going to put it in the bottom of the controller, and the way to use this mount is we put it exactly where we need it, and then you need to make sure here, ideally, can you see this is just touching there? Yours should be just touching the face. You don't want it too low because it'll stick out, but also you don't want it too high because then it'll recess too much. So probably just about there. I'm going to maybe move it up 1 millimeter so that I know it's okay. Good. So there's the mount in place, which is going to go on the... Oh, hang on, that's going on the right-hand side, isn't it? Yeah, that's no good. That's actually on the wrong side. So we'll do it on that bit. There we go. So that means now the joystick's going to go on the left. If you're going to have 2 joysticks on yours, like in PlayStation, then just duplicate this. So we got that there. Obviously, we need a hole. We need an actual hole. So through your red thing. So again, just make sure your hole goes over the top, which is about right. We'll just bring that down. Oh yeah, good. Done. There we go. And again, we'll group that. So that should be fine. Let's have a look. Is that done? There we go. Cool. Good. So now that's your setup ready for your thumbstick. So let's have a look. Where's my original one? Yeah, so that's on the left-hand side of the thumbsticks. Now we'll do the one for the four push buttons. There we go. So let's add 4 push buttons in there. So again, you can measure them, the thing for the push buttons yourself if you want to, and do it all. But I'm just going to use, I would say, if you want, just use my template here. There we go, which is a push button. There you go. Now with these templates, they're all measured exactly, so do not resize the template whatever you do. Okay, only resize the your controller, because if you make this bigger or smaller, then when you come to print it, it's going to be printing the wrong size. Now my template comes with the top strap, which you can use. So these here. Your push button's going to go in there, and then your top strap goes over the push button. I'll show a video at the end, a picture at the end. And that way, that actually screws down. So I'll put a picture on the end showing the inside wiring. There we go. So let me show that in place. So we don't need this strap for the moment, so you can hide that. We can use that. You only need that strap for 3D printing. So what we'll do is let's just go here. Let's just get that off there. We'll import another one in a minute, but for the moment, let's just hide that on there. There we go. There we go. Good. There we go. Cool. So now what we can do again is we'll just put them in place. How am I doing mine? Am I doing... Oh, okay, they're in a plus size. Okay, so we're doing plus style, so I'll get that right there. Control C. There we go. We'll do it there. Will that fit? Is that going to fit? Maybe. I think so. Just about going to fit there, isn't it? Yeah. Look at that. Perfect. Maybe put that over there. Will it go too far out? No, that'll go too far out. Let's bring that in. There we go. Okay, so this one isn't quite fitting. So what I'll do with this, I'll just take a bit off the edge of there. There we go. Trim the edge off there. Thank you. Trim. There we go. In fact, now that I've done that, I'll just delete that. I better use that one, hadn't I? Otherwise, it'll all go off on funny sizes. There we go. So, there we go. If I'll turn that around 90 degrees so that we've got it's actually going the right way, so we can look at it and make sure. There we go. Yeah, it's probably about right. Nothing's coming out of there? No, good. Brilliant. Good. 1, 2. Those are just about in line, I can see there. It's a little bit over onto one side over the other. 0.5 millimeter, we need to change it. So I'll just change my snap grid to 0.5 millimeter. There you go, that's perfect. Good. So now what I'll do is I'll Control C, Control V. Hey, why'd that move? That's bizarre. There we go. And we'll just make sure that all of this is sitting exactly where we want it to sit. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Move that along there a bit. Good. Yeah, there we go. Done. So I've got that 4 plus in a row. That looks pretty. Is that onto one side? Just make sure, obviously, you make sure that you actually have them all in line so they don't look out of line. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, good. Good enough. That's pushing over there a little bit, so I'll just move that one in a bit. Yep. Still pushing in. In that case, I'll just take that out and we'll just trim that there. So again, with all yours, you're probably going to have to mess with it a little bit, just like I'm messing with mine. There we go. And there we go. Good. Yay, that'll do. That's more like it. Good. Good. I'd say we're about right. Good, there you go. Good, so now we've got the bits for those. Now those, again, are going to have to go, as you can see underneath, they're exactly on the bottom of the controller. In fact, you've probably noticed here that we've got a bit of a problem in that what's happening here is those buttons are a little bit squished in, so they're not actually going to work. So we're going to have to move all of those along. Again, you're probably going to want to make a bigger controller. Let's move that all the way along. But the best thing to do really is kind of do a design on paper first and then measure it so that you won't have these sorts of problems. Yeah, that I think should just about do it. I think maybe. In fact, no, I'm going to move it along a bit further. In yours, you're probably going to want to measure it all first. Let's just move this out a bit. What are you doing? Let's just move those. Oh, we'll just do you. Okay, so there we go. Let's just trim that down. Trim out there. We'll lose a bit over here. So yeah, so you'll have to just make sure that you adapt yours as you need to. Okay, trim a bit off there. Okay, good. There we go. Let's see if it fits now. Let's see if we're anywhere closer to our lovely thing. So there we go. Those go underneath the standoffs. That's perfect. So I think that should be okay. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Good. And that now, yeah, that's plenty of space. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can put your push buttons on there. Whee, good. Let's just check that again. Yep, good. Done. So we're almost there with those now. There we go. But again, we need these holes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, because otherwise you're gonna have no holes to put anything in. So we'll just go with that. Move that to there. Resize the holes, just like we did with the circular one, but doing this time with the square. That'll do. Bring that down. Good, there we go. Control C, Control V. Yeah, in you go. In you go. In you go. In you go. Ooh, okay, good. There we go. And just grab that. Set those all together. Good. So now, once that's decided it's going to working, there you go. You can see you've got, that's where your push buttons are going. That's where your controller is. If you had a slightly bigger controller, you'd probably add an on-off switch here, which you can do, which I've got. So mostly now, really, it's pretty much done. The only thing we need to really think about now is how are we going to attach the top bit to the bottom bit. Okay, so when we're actually putting it together, now you could, if you want, just glue this, which is fine, but the problem with that then is that if you've got any problems with electronics, then what are you going to do? So you're going to need some way of attaching the top and the bottom realistically. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I'm going to use some screw holes, okay? Here we go. And I'm going to use some standoffs so that we can screw the top onto the bottom bit. And I'll have 2 of those standoffs, and they will go, where shall we put them? In fact, I'll put them in the middle, here, here, here. No, should we do that? No, let's do an actual standoff. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a standoff, which are, you can't quite see them on these models actually, but I did one here in the final one. And that is the idea, is that we're going to do, where are we at? So let's do one here and one on the other side. Probably one, that's the controller battery pack going there. So maybe do them about 6, I'd say. 6 millimeters is big enough, or 8 or something. Oh, let's go, yeah, 6 or 8. Let's do 8. There we go. So you want about 8 millimeters deep. There we go. And you want it to stretch up at least halfway, all the way, at least halfway up, most of the way up, so that when this top clamshell goes down onto it, you can just screw straight down into there. Within there. Okay, that's all about there. Good. That's okay. And what we're going to do is, to make it easier to screw into it, we're going to do a 2 millimeter screw hole in there. So let's do 2 millimeters. Just bring you up. Let's zoom in. There we go. About there. Let's put that down. Yeah, there we go. Now, what we need to do is put this screw hole in the center of this one here, so there to there. Now, you could try and drag it in manually, and oh, where's that going? Come back. You could try and drag that in manually from here to here and get it perfectly in the middle, which might work. I mean, that does look pretty much like it's on the middle. But one little trick that you can do is click on this one. So click on the big circle, that's the solid one. Click, hold Shift and click on the other one. And then you can use this little align tool here, the L for the line. Click on that, and then you can align it to the center by clicking on the 2 dots. And that now has aligned it perfectly in the center. Good. There we go. There we go. Done, 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 done. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. There we go. Good. So now this here, there we are. We've got one of our screw hole that's going to attach into there. That's okay. And what we'll do now, 1, 2, we'll just group those. So it's got the hole. Yeah, we will do. There you go. Control, Control C, Control V. And I'm going to do another one of those on the other side of the controller. Now you could do it here if you like, if you just want to do 2. Really, you probably want to do 1, 2, 3, 4 to do it properly. I'm just going to do 2 because I'm lazy today. So I'm going to do one of my standoffs there and one of my standoffs in the other side here. There you go. Good. So standoff there. Good. That's okay. That's brilliant. So those are my 2. Again, you could probably do more if you want to. I'm just going to do those 2. Now, what we need to do is we need to do the hole and the recess for the screws to go in the other side, but we'll do that in a bit. What I'm going to do first of all, though, is, there we go, I'm going to make a hole for my Raspberry Pi to go in on this side here. So my Raspberry Pi, not Raspberry Pi, what's it called? My Microbit. So if you're going to have your Microbit in yours, which I've got, I have my Microbit poking out the top of it so that I can see the screen on the Microbit, and that way I can use it for debugging. So if you want to have a hole for your Microbit, then again, you need to measure it up. I can't remember exactly what the size of the Microbit is, but I think that size should be fine. There we are. And that will be a hole for my Microbit. So my Microbit can poke into the top of here, and then I'll attach it to the breadboard here. Wherever you want it to attach to, not your breadboard, to the breakout board, sorry. Wherever you want to attach it to your breakout board, again, you're going to want to put little standoffs here and here maybe, so that you can screw down into them. There we go. But I'm doing my hole there. You're going to want to measure that really to make sure it's going in the right place. But I think, oops, actually, I think mine's probably going to be a little bit further up. But I'll measure that depending on the breadboard. That might change. That will do. So I'll just do a nice little hole there so my microbit can go in there. Good. There you go. And we'll just group that. So now what we've got is we've got the top and the bottom. The only thing we need to do now is we need to make sure that we get some holes in the top of this. And the way that we can do that is just click here, ungroup these. So now you've got these big pokey out long bits here. Let's come back over here. Whee. Let's flip that back, holding mouse back 90 degrees. Bring it up. Bring it back on top, perfectly on top. Get that perfectly aligned with the one below. There you go. Done. Good, so that's perfectly aligned. And then what you can do is, in fact that's the easiest way to do it. Click, hold mouse, click, click. So those are there. And then group those with them there. There we go. Done. And now what you've done is you've grouped them and you've put the holes in the top. And then what we'll do is we'll just come back here and we'll put these back on here. We'll add another version of them there. So again, 2 mil. I don't know why that's going to 1.75. That's very annoying. Anyway, do yours at 2 millimeters. Hold shift, click them both, and then use the alignment tool so it goes back to the middle. Good. That will do. And let's do another hole. In fact, can we bring you? Control C, Control V. Move you along. There we go. There we are. Move you over there. Again. Let's just make sure that you're not big enough. Neither of you are big enough, in fact. Let's make you long enough. There we go. Shift. Again. Just the align center. Good. And now bring that down. Down there, probably. That should do it. Bring you down. Make you bigger. Again, if you can measure these, you can be exact if you want, but I'm just being quick today because we're in a bit of a hurry. I'm always in a hurry. There we go. And group those. Shift, shift. Group those. Good. There you go. So now what we've got is we've got holes at the top here for the screws to screw in, which is okay. In reality, I'd probably move that back over there. I don't really like that there, so I would have put it somewhere else. But for now, it can stay. Now, let's just have a look down here, make sure, in fact, what I will do, let's just flip this back over again, ready for the next bit, holding shift. There we go. Bring that back. Oh, where's that gone? Come back. Oh, what have you gone over there? Not very helpful, is it? Come back over here. Thank you. There we go. Okay, much better. Good. Bring that down. That's okay there. Good. So that's going into there. That's going into there. Now, what we probably want to do, actually, because in fact, I'm probably going to regret doing that now. In fact, I'm going to undo it. Because what we need to do here, where these holes are, we want to do these holes, but we want to make them a little bit wider because we want the screw to recess inside of it. So what we'll do is that hole there. Can we ungroup that hole? There we go. And we'll make that a little bit wider. I know that the screw heads that I'm using are going to be about 6 mil screw heads. So, oh, actually, we don't want to do that because that's going to make that a problem. So what we're going to do instead, country, we'll copy it, leave the existing holes in place. There we go. And what I'll do is I'll make these a little bit wider. I want those 6 mil. There we go. And then what I can do, because I've got the original one still in place. What are you there? Let's go there. I'll click on you, click on the original hole, and then again we can use this align thing. Why is that not working? Click. Click. Ah, yeah, it is working. It's just that one's crazily up in the air. Come back down. Where's my hat gone? Yeah, that is working good. Good. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure you measure the screw head size so you know for yours. Okay, and then just bring it down a little bit, not all the way. Let's go. How far am I going to? So that's 0. That's minus 3.5. Let's just take it down to there on the top. So that's touching the top. So now we'll just bring it down 1, 2, 3 millimeters. I think 3 millimeters, 3.5. Again, whatever the depth of the recess is that you want. Copy that. We'll move that over there to do on the same one. Again, just hold Shift. Click on the. Let's move it over here. Click there. Click on the other one. Is that going to do that? 1, 2, 2. That's annoying. Okay, fine. We'll just. There you go. 1, 2. Click on that. Click. Oh no, it's moved it. It's moved the other one. If you notice that it moved this to there rather than there to there. I think the trick to that is click on the one you want to move first. Let's try that and see what happens. No, let's just move both of them. Let me just undo that. Okay, we might have to not do that then. That could be a problem. There we go. Let's just use it by eye. There we are. Good. I hope I've not messed up that other one. Okay, there we go. Done. In fact, let me just check that other one. Make sure I didn't mess up that other one. No, I didn't mess up the other one, did it? It's still in place. Good. So let's put him back. Maybe I can lock that one in place. It won't move. Yeah, let's try that. Click. There you go. There you go. So that's what you need to do. Oops, what was that? Go in the middle. Nope. Why is that not moving? Let's try again. No, that did not work at all. Okay. In that case, just lock the piece. I don't know why that's not working. I'll have to figure that out. I seem to have broken something. Let's try again. So just do it. I'll just do it by eye. It doesn't need to be exact, but at some point in life, I'll have to figure out how to fix that. There you go. There we go. So there's one recess. Control C, Control V. And we'll do the other recess. There we go. A little bit out. There we go. Good. And now if we group those, then hopefully we will see. There we are. Oh, why have you not grouped? Group. Oh, that's because it's locked. Unlock. Group. Group. Whee. And now, there you can see it there. So you've got a hole to put your screw into, a hole to put your screw into, which then matches up with the screws on the other side. Done. Good, good, good. For printing, what I'm going to do is I'll just flip them back over. Oh, no, let's just do that. Flip them back over. There we go. And I'll make sure they're all aligned and make sure ready for printing that they're all sat neatly on top of the work plane. There you go. Cool. A little bit longer. So yeah, so that's how we create a nice little controller. Pretty straightforward, just lots of little steps and lots of tweaking. You probably have to print it once or twice, depending on how well you measure it. My advice is make sure that you do a drawing on paper first and try and get hold of the components on paper first so you can see and practice and make sure it actually works on paper before you start designing it like that. There you go. There we go. Good. Okie dokie. So good luck. Yeah, have fun.